Okay, sir, your name?
Brett Ligon, Ligon.
Tell me a little bit about this forum tonight, and you as the DA in Montgomery County, what you're doing, and how do you feel about it? I mean, you're telling people, parents, to check their kids' phones and all.
Absolutely. I'm always concerned about an abdication of a parent's responsibility to either law enforcement or to a school district. And to recap, what we have is a situation here in West Montgomery County where we had a kid who died from ingesting acid, LSD, or a synthetic version of it. And then even more recently, we had a situation on the campus over here in West Montgomery County in which 2 other teenagers ingested it. They self-identified, and the school sent them to the hospital. So obviously, it raises the awareness that there is an issue of the synthetic LSD or the synthetic acids. And so the school district took a very proactive position and said, hey, we're going to have a round table. Now, obviously, it's a round table of 1,000 people, but it's the first step. And part of it was to educate the parents over here what the school does, but the other portion was to try to make sure that the parents are reminded that they're the ultimate stakeholders. And so you can't abdicate your responsibility to the government to take care of your kids or you. As a parent, I think that was apparent throughout today. As a parent, you're an investigator, and you're the primary caregiver, and you're the one that loves your kid more than anybody. And so a lot of it was common sense stuff. Know the password to your kid's cell phone. Look through the text messages. Be Snoopy. Look at those types of deals. Look at their Facebook accounts. Look at their Instagram accounts. Look at the text messages going in and out. So what the school district did was try to not only assure the parents that they were on top of it, but also provide them with some very common sense tips to kind of get on top of this issue. And I think that tonight was a good start.
Okay, first of all, your name and position?
I'm Lieutenant Philip Cash, Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, Narcotics Division.
Tell me a little bit about this drug that has showed up around Montgomery here.
What we've seen is over the last few weeks, there's been some incidents with a drug called N-bomb or 25I. It's a LSD stamp, but it's not really LSD. It's going to be another chemical that mimics the effects of LSD, but it also has some terrible side effects, seizures, and high fevers, and even death.
What have y'all been seeing? Just starting to come out quite a bit of this, or is it just?
Oh, we've started seeing this in Montgomery County in the last probably 18 months to 2 years. We're starting to see more and more. It started out with young adults. Now we're starting to see it more with the school-age kids, both in East Montgomery County, Central Montgomery County, and South Montgomery County.
Where are they getting these stamps at?
The stamps themselves, you can order online. They mimic cartoon characters. They're targeting marketing to the younger generation. Once they get the stamps, they can dilute the chemical itself and pour it or dip the stamps until they get the chemical inside the stamps.
What about cost? What's these stamps costing kids?
Between $3 and $7 a piece.
But just for an instant high?
Yes.
Okay. All right, first of all, what's your name?
Sherry Kennedy.
Sherry, what did you think of tonight's meeting?
I thought it was great. It just eases parents' minds to know that the school is being proactive on everything and not waiting until something's happened and then trying to backtrack and find out what's going on. I think it was great that they really emphasized that parents are the most important part of this process, The parents need to be paying attention and keeping an eye on what their kids are doing. We can't leave it up to the school to raise our kids. We can't leave it up to the police. It all comes down to the parents first. But the fact that the parents and the school district and law enforcement are all working together, I think that it's going to make it very smooth. So,
Your name one more time?
Sherry Kennedy.
With a S?
Yes.
S-H-E-R?
S-H-E-R-I. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What is your name?
My name is Linda Porton.
H-O-R-T-O-N?
No, with a P. Porton.
I'm sorry.
Linda Porton.
Tell me a little about, you used to teach here many years ago. Tell me what happened.
Well, I taught here for years, and I was a single mom for a while, and my daughter was a GT student, and she was a cheerleader at the junior high, and when she got to the high school, things fell apart. And I kind of fought the battle alone because we didn't make it a community effort. It was me against the bad guys, and I even had trouble with cooperation from other parents. They thought I was being too stiff, and I ended up, my daughter went to several drug rehabs and ended up taking her to a boarding school in Mexico where she stayed for 15 months. Graduated the program. She's successful today, has a lovely family, children, and she has told me, you saved my life. And she'd tell you that too. She doesn't like to talk about it much now because she's a little bit embarrassed, but it started when she was like in 8th grade. And the problem hadn't gone away, but at least now we're addressing it as a community. I really appreciate Dr. Reese, and I appreciate the DA coming out and saying parents are responsible as much as the school to find out what's going on in your home.
Good evening, and thank you for coming out tonight. I just want to continue off what Mr.
Hanson Bear. These are characters that we're finding on this blotter paper, where they're lacing it not with LSD, but this 25I. It's a chemical that gives the effects of LSD, and some worse side effects that LSD doesn't offer. I think initially with peer pressure, they're given some of the positives, the color traces when they're at a party, color traces when you're moving and you see the lights, and sometimes you can relate to a movie where they're showing somebody high on some type of narcotics and they're seeing the lights, they're seeing the glamour, and they're happy. Their mood is enhanced. They're stimulated. You can touch them and they're feeling great. But with that peer pressure and that friend didn't tell them, is what it feels like when you're coming off of it. The cold chills, confusion, being lost. These side effects can happen at any time. These side effects can happen that day or the next. The side effects can last up to 7 days. And we're all sitting around the table. This is what we're doing right now. This is our round table. So please, in a minute, we're going to open up the mic. Do not hesitate to ask questions. We have several different agencies here. We have the DA's office, the city of Montgomery, the sheriff's office. We all work as one unit, and then our parents, and then our staff. Get out your way, excuse me. Another challenge we're facing is what the street call as Molly. We got people out there taking prescription pills, Oxycontin, hydrocodone, and even ADHD medicine, crushing it up to get the same effects as if you was getting a Red Bull and vodka. These are more appealing to the youth because you can't smell it. You ever had your child offer to give them something to drink and they smell like, oh no, mom, it stinks. Well, they're finding something else to get that same effect as alcohol. Go back one. If you look closely, these are clear capsules that you can find. You can find in any supplement store, vitamin shops. And what they're doing, they're stealing prescriptions from family members, taking their own prescription. Or maybe it's that person that you just kind of had your hair standing up in the back of your neck who was visiting your home. And the day you weren't there, or the day that a friend went to the restroom, he decided to go and take him a stash. 5 here, 5 there. But that's how they get in a hold to it. And also breaking into homes. This is an example of some of the tabs, what they call a SpongeBob, that's on blotted paper. Again, we don't know if this has been dipped once, dipped twice. I may be able to consume it. I'm 300 pounds. And I get a little high off of it. It was great. And then I tell somebody else who saw me take it, not thinking, all he know that he trusts me. We've been friends since middle school. He took it, and he looked like he really had a good time. And then my friend that's 200 pounds take it, and now his heart breaks. He's going into cardiac arrest. The dancing bear. This is the second one we've been experiencing. People use certain type of blotter paper to mark their territory. In Montgomery, it's the dancing bear and it's SpongeBob. In Conroe, it may be fruit. I've heard about the couples on the blotter paper, they call them the Romeo and Juliet. These are certain key terms to be listening for when you hear certain conversations. There is no privacy in that home. If you're a child under my roof, this is my space too. There should be not one child in school that says, Mom, respect my space. Dad, respect my space. I need some privacy. When you start paying bills, when you have your own place, that's when you can privacy.
I'd like to address that. So there's a two-part question. One, I want to address the drug overdose. And let me clarify that there was not a drug overdose here in Montgomery. There was not a drug overdose.
Yes, sir, there was.
I personally made that scene. There were 2 students who admitted consuming 25I. For precaution and for that child's safety, we called EMS and we had them transported to the hospital.
There were 2.
Yes, ma'am. 2 students that was transported to the hospital to be evaluated. Because again, this poison, we have no clue what effects it's going to have on that child. And heaven forbid, we leave that child in school and they fall out with a seizure or go into cardiac arrest.